Hi guys, so this week we're covering Spider-Man 2 with our friends from Your Favourite Film is Awful. It's a podcast you can get pretty much anywhere on Spotify, iTunes, what have you. I'll have all the links down below in the description, and I really implore you to go and check them out. They've got a really great podcast that they've been setting up over the last couple of months, and the premise is that you essentially go on as a guest to defend your favourite film from negative reviews, which is what I did with Endgame a couple of weeks ago, and I'm now doing it with Spider-Man 2. So yeah, it was a really great time to chat with the guys, had a lot of fun, and here it is. So yeah, check it out. And if you don't want to watch it as a YouTube video, please check it out on those platforms below.
What's your favorite? God, that's awful.
Favorite?
Awful. Your favorite film? Awful.
Hello, and welcome to Your Favourite Film is Awful, the weekly podcast where we invite guests on to defend their favourite films against negative reviews. As always, I'm Luke, the radiant, the slightly sweaty, I'm not going to lie. And with me, as always, the slight mess of a human being, it's Charlie. How are you doing?
I'm magic, mate. How you doing?
Magic?
I'm
How's
still
the
ill.
illness? That's what I
I'm
was
still
going
ill,
for.
yeah. I'm not ill though. I've got hay fever. I'm just being a bitch about it. But yeah, it's just horrible. Yeah, not having a good time with it.
No,
So apologies for my nasally, horrible voice right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet this beautiful weather's really not helping.
No, it's not. No,
It's not. Have you brought a guest?
I have brought a guest, a
Cool.
reoccurring guest.
A recurring guest. Another
Yes.
guest has returned.
I brought him back from Full Fat Studios, Mr. Full Fat himself, Matt Whittle.
Yo guys,
Oh, it's beautiful.
What an
Intro music.
What
that was like the
entry.
steam and
That's
smoke
amazing.
coming out the stage.
And then you're like, you're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking. Those are some historic babes.
Ooh.
I watched Bill and Ted this week.
Oh, great.
Well, that goes straight in. Are you okay? What have you been up to this week?
Yeah, I'm magic, mate.
Yeah.
No, I just recently came back from Japan.
Oh, damn.
Went away for
okay.
12 days. That was wonderful. It was great to get away for a bit.
Yeah, did you see all the landmarks or whereabouts did you
We
go?
went to Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, and Hiroshima.
Damn, okay.
Going through the Hiroshima Museum was absolutely incredible. And
Sounds amazing.
yeah, and then we also went a step into the future and saw the Honda robot,
Oh, right.
which was pretty awesome. Yeah, you saw it run and hop and shit.
Oh, it
it
looks
was terrifying.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that we're not getting terminated. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. I bet that would be all that would be playing as I was watching that presentation.
But yeah, like Charlie, I have a bit of a coarse throat and a snotty nose, which I woke up with today. So apologies if I sound like put nails in my mouth pre-podcast.
Ill in the summer.
I'm sure it'll all be fine.
This is what happens when you put white nerds in the summer. You know?
Mr. Simpson, I need my ear medicine.
And Charlie, what have you been up to this week?
Same thing as usual, just watching films, mate. I've watched Christine this week, a John Carpenter film, which
Okay.
I put off for a while because I heard some people didn't like it, but then a lot of people praised it, and I thought I'll watch it, give it a go, because the premise is basically a car that kills people.
Okay.
It's a horror movie, so I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
how scary could that be, you know? But obviously, watching it and then it starts, and I'm like, but how did I forget? It's my boy.
It's your
John
boy.
Carpenter. And it's one of my. It might be. I could see why someone could say it's one of their favourites of his actually as well.
Oh, damn.
'Cause there's something about it. It's got a bit of a hangout movie quality to it. Like the characters are
You
really
do love your
fleshed
hangout
out.
movies.
I do
Charlie.
like my hangout movies. Yeah, it's got like a the characters feel lived in that world. I don't know. It's yeah, really enjoyed it. And the horror moments are actually terrifying. I never thought a car could be so terrifying. There's a bit when like the car's on fire, the whole car is on fire, and it's chasing this dude as he's like screaming, running down
my
the
God.
street, and the fucking John Carpenter score playing underneath in the dark, and the car's slowly riding towards him, and he's like looking back, like running.
That sounds incredible.
Mate, it's awesome. It's really awesome. Really enjoyed that. And then I watched. I also watched Booksmart.
Okay, yeah. I remember
nice.
you speaking about that.
Yeah,
recently.
really enjoyed that.
It's not on a lot of screens, is it?
No, mate, it's really upsetting.
long.
You know, J.J. Abrams complained about it.
Really?
He was saying like
The guy directing Star Wars.
the guy directing Stars. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. He said like, why are films like that not getting shown? Like it wasn't. I tried to look at Cineworld. It wasn't on any Cineworld. it was only at picture houses. It's like, what's going on there? Like that should be.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like it's not even like a way out there independent film. It's a comedy with like.
I've just been reading The Fight for the Future of Movies by Ben Fritz.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you borrow if you want.
Yeah, please. Do.
It's an incredible book, and it tells you why movies like Booksmart are not playing in cinemas, and how Netflix and Amazon are sweeping up those sort of like middle tier movies.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it
Read
makes
that.
sense.
It's really interesting read, but and also like simultaneously everyone's at fault, but no one's at fault.
That's what's so interesting about it. It's just the way we're sort of moving.
Yeah.
I'm a bit
It
worried.
ends on a really positive note.
Oh, that's good because I'm a little bit worried that it's going to get to the point where the only films that we're showing in the cinema are like the big blockbusters, and then the independent films are just going to be ones that sort of get made and streamed by Netflix. I'm a little bit worried about that, but
Well, yeah, like for example, Shaft. That came out on
mate,
Netflix.
I
was
can't
so
believe
disappointed by
that. So was I. I haven't seen it, but I was.
I wanted to see it in the cinema.
I wanted to see it in the
I thought we'd
cinema.
have a
Yeah, I
laugh,
thought it'd be
yeah.
good fun. Yeah, but and the final film I watched was Joint Security Area, by Park Chan-wook, the legend, the boy, the director of Old Boy and the Vengeance trilogy. Joint Security Area it's incredible. It's about basically in Korea, these guys that work on the borders. Mm-hmm. So the guys that work on the north and the guys that work on the south, and they literally facing each other. But if they cross over, they basically can kill each other.
Yeah.
But they start to secretly become friends from working over. Meanwhile, it's like a non-linear film cut between something that there was a big shootout that happened between them and set off like a little war between the two of them.
Okay.
And you start to, it sort of slowly sort of shows that was because of this friendship. It's really, really, really good.
That sounds awesome.
Really good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's Park Chan-wook again. Like he's like, there's just certain guys that like they can't do no wrong almost. But yes, I really enjoyed that. How about yourself, Luke?
Yeah, I think the only big thing that I watched recently would be Child's Play with Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah, what was that like?
It was really good.
Really?
I really like. It could be the people that I was with because they weren't big horror people, so they were jumping at like all the correct bits to jump at. But yeah, it was like a really good horror comedy. There are elements like some of the ways that Chucky kills people are very like you're gonna cross your legs and go, oh no. Because as a male, there's
cuts off his penis.
There's some.
Oh,
that,
God,
yes,
Sure.
yeah. I was...
It may
Very
make
sharp,
sense,
me.
doesn't it?
Got that
yeah,
one.
you got it. I think Charlie needed the help. To be honest, he had that blank look in his eye. But yeah, and also the buddy song is really great. And afterwards, I was like singing it to myself. Someone overheard and was like, "Oh, that's really nice." And I was like, "Yeah, because I'm not a small doll with a knife."
Yeah, it's terrifying. We should go see that actually. That
Yeah,
sounds
I
like
think
a
it'd be
fun.
There's a lot of things that, even though I don't think look good, I want to see.
Yeah.
Like Men in Black International.
Yeah, no.
I just want to polish it
Well,
off to get off.
Yeah. I've heard a few people say like it's not actually as bad as they say it is, but it's still bad. But it's just like it's good fun.
Anything for Hemi, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the score.
So, as you're a returning guest, I'm assuming that you've developed a new favorite film after Endgame.
I have.
Okay, and has this
watching,
knocked off Endgame, or is this a different?
It
favorite?
has knocked off Endgame.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
if we're talking about the superhero movie genre,
Mm.
I think the greatest superhero movie of all time, better than Superman the movie, better than the Avengers, better than Avengers Infinity War,
Okay,
better than Guardians of the Galaxy,
This is quite a high
better
claim.
than Tank Girl and Catwoman 2004.
Tough to beat. Don't forget Daredevil.
But Daredevil's
Affleck.
okay. I got a bit of a soft spot for it. A
I haven't
nostalgic soft
actually
spot.
seen it.
It's kind of fun.
Okay.
I'm not the bad guy, kid. Anyway, Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you straight away. After saying that, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I consider this one of the superhero masterpieces. I've
Fair
spoken
enough.
about this before. I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I think if I were to pick the top 3 superhero films that I feel like pick a certain section of superhero films and perfect them, as The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, and Infinity War, I feel
absolutely.
I feel like they're because they all did something different for the superhero genre. In my
I completely agree. I've wanted to do a video on it for quite some time.
That'd be really good, yeah.
Sort of looking at it as Spider-Man 2 is the fairy tale, I think,
Yep,
in those
yep.
3. Like, I mean, we'll get into it a bit. But
Yeah,
I
definitely.
rewatched it yesterday and I was just like, even more solidified in that,
Yeah.
that fact.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a joy to watch.
But for those listening who haven't seen Spider-Man 2 recently, could you give them the plot synopsis of that film?
Okay, right. So, 2 years after the events of Spider-Man, where Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider and became the vigilante, the paragon of justice, known as Spider-Man, and fought the Green Goblin, who actually turned out to be his best friend's father, who'd become psychotic after sort of juicing up on basically like goblin super soldier serum and becoming a public menace. And in the sort of like in the fight in the crossfire, Norman Osborn got killed by his own blade. But I mean, Spider-Man, being the responsible man he is, kind of feels a bit guilty for jumping out of the way, even though he died by his own hand, really. And he doesn't tell Harry Osborn, who sort of, by the time we get to this second movie, has become like a bit of a maniac, a bit obsessed, a bit vain. He's gotten very successful with his company, but he's turning into a bit of a douche. Meanwhile, Peter's still not sealing the deal with Mary Jane. He's too worried about her getting in danger. He's got a lot of guilt wrapped around the fact that he didn't tell Aunt May that he went to that fight and let that mugger go that shot Uncle Ben. And and he gets fired from his first job in this one. He actually gets fired twice in the movie, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Parker, you're fired. Come back here, I need you. And then there's also a guy who he's writing a paper on called Dr. Octavius, who sort of becomes a bit of a father figure to him, or a bit of a mentor figure. And there's this wonderful theme throughout the movie as those two clash about the price of success and dreams. And it's fucking perfect. You need to go and see it.
Definitely.
Fair enough.
I mean, just to point it out quickly, Matt has a great video essay on Full Fat about Spider-Man 2 and the price of success themes that I'm sure we'll probably talk about as well.
Let's just plug it, baby. Come
Yes,
on. That's
yeah,
why do you think I'm here? We gotta plug this shit, baby. If you want some Squarespace deals, you come to me, all right? You want a discount code, you come to me. Get you 10% off.
Oh dear.
Rent.
It is a shame though, seeing as Spider-Man 2 is awful.
What?
I know.
Say
A
what?
moment of
What?
silence.
I feel like we should have done the old Friday. Damn!
Louis Ontivus gives it 1 star. Okay, really. No one is going to point out the terrible, flawed values this movie portrays. Spider-Man is this selfless, individualist hero who is at times even portrayed as an image to adore, and who never solves his problems through talking. He's a lone wolf who must bear the world on his shoulders and shoot first, maybe ask questions later. The woman he loves is painfully irresponsible, and her character is never developed beyond the point of she's the girl he loves because he's been in love with her since childhood. And neither is their relationship's purpose other than a plot point, which then says to me that apparently women are useless if they're not your significant others. Why couldn't they just stay friends with a complicated past? Or at least talked about their issues before she decides to cheat on her fiancé and then leave him standing at the altar as if it were in some way justifiable.
Can I stop you right there?
Of course.
I want to know, is this guy a gamer? Is he a gentleman gamer?
I don't know his
I got
backstory,
a
I'm afraid.
sneaking suspicion he is, but go on, finish the review.
These characters are horrible people. This movie is shit for the most part. And the simplistic values it teaches reinforce a lot of the problems of today's American society. Please stop exporting this shit. Your values are not the same as mine.
Sounds like he has a gross ideological problem with this movie.
Yeah.
And he said he disagreed with the themes of the movie, but he didn't say what they were.
That's what I was confused about. He didn't really go into the values that he was
So I'm left
annoyed about.
wondering if he thinks the values of the film are what I think the values of the film are. I don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, for me, I think the values of the film are incredible. I think they're brilliant.
It's about, I mean, he literally says it, isn't he? It's like sometimes you have to give up the thing you want the most.
Exactly, yeah.
Even your dreams.
Yeah.
And I actually love that because we have so many movies where it's like, you know, like something like Whiplash, where
Yeah.
it's, you know, if you want this, you got to work harder, you got to sacrifice things. But, you know, you sort of lose your soul in the process. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's that question of whether that's the wrong or right thing to do. But, you know, if it's what you want, then this movie's like, no, responsibility always comes first. And it literally sums up the greatest line of Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. That's what this movie is about.
No, that's what's so good about it. And I think as well, like, it's also about finding the balance. Because at the start, it's like he's going too far with it. He's actually cutting out, or he's Peter Parker life.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, at the end, it's about him trying to find the balance between the two. And I think that's what's so brilliant about this film. But I do think, as well, is the fact that we spend a lot of time with Peter Parker in this movie and him, and sort of showing, this film is about him trying to find that balance of Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And he's shutting everything out. But And he said about that was it. He said something about him being selfish.
Selfless.
Oh,
He's a selfless, individualist hero. I think the values that Lewis is getting at is the fact that Spider-Man doesn't ask for help. He bears the world on his shoulders, which is
that's because
quite
he's
a
the
bad
only
thing
one that
to
can
promote
exactly
to the world.
What the hell? That's because who else could do that? He's the
No one else can stop a car with their bare hands.
exactly.
can they?
Yeah.
So-
I'm just
No,
saying.
no.
But then I don't agree with this either because I'm pretty sure throughout the film there are moments where the public help him.
That's a
Like,
great point.
yeah.
That's a great point.
Like
yeah.
even the bit. So when he's fully Peter Parker and he's given up on Spider-Man for a bit, he runs into the burning building. When he saves the kid and he falls through the floorboards, the kid's trying to help him get back up.
Exactly. Yep.
And then of course the train scene
bit,
when
yep.
he's
Yeah.
about to fall forward. The
And then
public catch him.
they keep his secret. That's incredible.
That is
It's such
amazing.
An awesome sequence.
That scene like makes me well up. It's it's such a superhero moment.
This film series, more than any other superhero film franchise, you get the feeling of the people he's saving, and you get a sense of the city, and it has a soul.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and I think that's what I think a lot of superhero films sort of miss out on sometimes is giving the world a world almost, and like seeing how these people interact with the superheroes.
Yeah.
How do they see these superheroes? And like we get so many shots of them as Spider-Man swinging, and it'd be like people come up going Spider-Man. Like it's amazing. Like people see him as like a spectacle. Like, you get to see Spider. Like, and even Aunt May points that out. She says, didn't she? She says like people will stand in a line for hours to see Spider-Man sort of thing.
I also like, I know it's not the second film, but in Spider-Man 1 when they're like, you mess with New York, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
And they're like throwing the garbage at Green Goblin. That's
Exactly.
so awesome. And then he
That is
manages
so
to get the carriage out safely. It's cheesy, but you know, it's the kind of optimism I like in a superhero movie.
Same.
It's very
Even
nice.
in this bit with Joey Diaz turns up in the train sequence.
You gotta go through me.
You gotta go through me.
I
And
love
he gulps,
the way,
doesn't he? It's brilliant.
I love the way Doc Ock goes very well.
He
like,
just
grins.
pushes them
Parts
apart.
the way
Oh,
like
it's
Moses.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Okay, so next review we have Esther Rosenfield, 1 star.
Esther.
Esther. Why do people shit all over the third movie but praise this one?
Whoa!
They're both
Whoa!
awful for exactly the same reasons. Watch this movie and take a shot every time a character says their thoughts out loud to themselves. Or don't, because you will fucking die from alcohol poisoning.
That's the whole review.
That's the whole review. That's the short
So
version.
she's saying she doesn't like the lines "strong focus on what I want" and "am I not supposed to have what I want, what I need?" They're two of the most awesome interior moments with Peter Parker we've
Too
ever
many
had.
soliloquies.
As a
That's
comic
what it is.
reader, as a video game player, as a movie watcher.
Yep.
Like ever.
100%.
This movie's the best Spider-Man piece of content ever because it throws the most conflict to Peter Parker ever. He's worrying about trying to finish his degree. He's turning up late. He wants to be with MJ, but he can't. He's screwed up with Otto Octavius, and there might be like a murderer running around attempting to destroy the city. He's not got Harry's trust because he saw him, what he thinks is to be the murderer of his father. There's a great bit where he says to him, "If you knew who he was, would you tell me?"
Yeah,
he won't.
It's amazing.
And then Aunt May feels guilty, doesn't he?
Yep.
Like,
And
there's
she
so much
even has a
building on
problem with him a little at one point.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the one scene that always sticks out for me in that, I mean, just to clarify, that Spider-Man in this is also one of my favourite Can't Catch a Break characters.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the greatest of all time Can't Catch a Break characters. And I think Sam Raimi really understands comedy. I mean, I know he's a love of the Marx Brothers, and I think you can really see, especially in the visual comedy in this film, but also in the fact that he gets everything thrown at him, like Matt just said.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the one scene that always sticks out to me where all of that comes to play is the NASA speech with the NASA bit,
God.
because you have the reveal that Mary Jane is now with J. Jameson's son, who obviously he doesn't like James Jameson anyway. Then you have Harry slapping him in front of everyone, getting annoyed of him, so basically doesn't have a friend
I think
anymore.
that scene is really underrated.
Really underrated. And then you have, after that, he leaves, and then he sees Spider-Man on the front page of the paper being shown as a crook. And he's like, what am I doing? I'm giving up everything, yet I'm getting nothing.
There's also that horrible bit where J. Jonah Jameson asks Peter to take a picture of Mary Jane with his son.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. Like, he rubs it, everything's rubbed in.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what's so good about it.
Every
Like,
single moment, like when Bruce Campbell doesn't let him in.
yeah, oh, that is
She asked me to come, but not to come late.
perfection.
So good.
When he tries to buy the flowers and he takes them and then they take half of them away. And that's in visual comedy. It's like going out frame into frame.
Everything he tries to do He gets shat on. It's fucking brilliant. Like even it plays it for comedy, and when it plays it for comedy, it's hilarious. But then it also plays it in like, this is horrible. Like I think one thing this film does really well is like you have really funny bits, but then you also have really dramatic scenes.
Yeah.
Like when Aunt May goes to give him money and he's like, no, I can't take it. And she's like, you take this. She starts crying. She's like, I'm sorry. Like, and when she thinks he's Ben, like she's asleep on the table because like she's struggling. Like, man, and she's got the bills to pay. Like that's a scene from a drama. You'd see that in like a fucking Ken Loach film. Or do you know what I mean? Like, and I think, and then you have that next minute you've got the raindrops keep falling on my head.
That scene's so great.
It's brilliant.
You know what I love as well? The first sequence, the first like moment of tension. It's not really an action sequence. Is when we see Peter Parker try and deliver the pizzas on time. It's not like a villain to fight.
Mate, yeah, you're
It's
right.
so thrilling to watch.
I think that's what's so good about it is like the Peter Parker moments, which I don't think they do quite anymore, are just have just as much tension as the Spider-Man moments. And I think that's what's so the great balance of it is, and I feel like that's what makes the pacing of the film fly by.
Paced. It's because you're throwing so much stuff at Peter Parker that it just zooms by.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, we're dealing with this, we're dealing with this, we're dealing with this, and then suddenly I'm always shocked by the time we get to the train sequence.
No, always same, always. And like you forget, like there's not actually that much of Spider-Man being Spider-Man until like 20 minutes in, maybe.
I mean, the finale's like one great big action sequence.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even that's interspersed with like Harry taking his mask off.
Yeah.
And, and then before that is the bank scene. There's not a lot of sequences, is there?
But they're iconic as well. Like
Yeah.
that bank scene. I think that as well, it's the framing. Sam Raimi's really tried to frame it like a comic book. Like the way Doc Ock will turn and he's like what they call tentacle thing, claws, are like in shot with him, and then Spider-Man's in the back on top of the roof of the building. It's like that's a fucking comic book panel.
I love when he bursts out of the newspaper and starts swinging through. You know when J.J. Abrams is like, "I want Spider-Man." The paper flings itself at the screen. Spider-Man bursts out, and then he starts swinging. And then after a couple of seconds of swinging, we then zoom out, and it was Doc Ock's sunglasses.
Oh yeah,
and then he swings into frame.
Oh, it's incredible!
It's fucking incredible.
It's incredible.
So good.
The swinging.
I mean,
Are we adequately, arguing against the points? So I feel like we're just gushing over it.
Yeah, I worry about it because I do that sometimes. It's hard because it's a big film that we love. So,
in fairness, you spoke about the thoughts being said out loud. The only thing you didn't say is how it's as bad as the third film.
I think there's some merit to the third film. It's not as good as 2 or 1. No way.
No.
And there's obviously a lot of problems, but everyone knows what they are. The stuff that it does get right, I think it's fun. It's worthy of the trilogy. Yeah. And also, I think what the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy shows you is how to make a superhero film and how not to make a superhero film. It's like an incredible how-to guide looking at that entire trilogy.
This next review is the nicest. It's a 4 out of 10 or a 2 out of 5, however you want to slice that. It's from Tony Medley. This is neither good nor interesting. Unless you like films where people can fly and beat the heck out of each other with no visible effect, no script to speak of, and no story to speak of. It's just hour after hour of Spider-Man, aka Peter Palmer, attacking...
Does it actually say Palmer?
It does. Attacking Doc Ock / Dr. Otto Octavius, and vice versa. The Doc has a bunch of mechanical arms that allow him to climb up and down buildings and do other nefarious things with his octopus-like arms. Spider-Man's a short, skinny guy who can fly, climb buildings, and create his spiderweb stuff by pointing his fingers. It's strong enough to stop a speeding train. The special effects are spectacular, but enough is enough. In addition to the special effects, the sound is exceptional. At one point, Doc Ock is coming and it sounds and feels like an earthquake. Kristen Dunst plays Spider-Man's love interest, Mary Jane Watson, although I can't figure out why. Oh, and at one point, Palmer doubts he wants to be Spider-Man, so he loses his powers. Like, he jumps off a tall building only to find out he can't fly anymore. Not to worry, he lives to regain his powers. Then he has some relationship problems with Watson, which result in her making a relatively incomprehensible decision. I can't figure out why anybody would want to waste 127 minutes sitting through this thing either. The only good part of it, for me, was that I missed the first 20 minutes and had to sit through only 107 minutes. I'd rather read the comic book, and I have no interest in ever doing that. I certainly don't want to spend any more time writing about it.
Every time you read out Peter Palmer, it was like scratching your fingers on a blackboard. How can you know the exact running time to the minute, but not get the character's last name right?
Also, Spider-Man can fly.
Yeah, oh, that was irritating as well. Fly?
Fly.
Yeah, what is he talking about?
He swings on an interconnected series of webs.
But I really like that bit when he's like losing his powers as Spider-Man.
That's great. But this review's really odd because it sounds like they went into this movie hating the genre and wanting to hate it.
Yeah, I definitely get that feeling.
Yeah, they say
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
no script and no plot. As we've covered with the last review, there's so much stuff getting thrown at Peter Parker, and it's a great story. It's really tight. There's not an ounce of fat on it. I can't believe you'd say there's no story. Like, we were watching the same movie, and then to sort of go into incredibly descriptive detail on the special effects says to me that you don't like sort of fantasy movies or things with fantastical elements. Because, I mean, didn't they say at one point it's spectacular but enough is enough? I mean, there's not even that much spectacle in the movie. It's a character-driven
No, it's very character-driven.
tale, yeah. I find that review kind of frustrating.
No, I 100% agree with that. I find it like, I mean, even there's big spectacle scenes, but he also, like I said, he brings it down to the drama moments, and he makes those scenes just as important, and almost as cinematic as the big spectacle scenes. And I think that's what really works about it. And I think
him finding himself is just as important as him stopping Doc Ock.
100%. Sometimes I'm having even more fun with the Peter Parker stuff sometimes, and that's really difficult to do. I think
none of the action in this movie outstays its welcome.
Yeah, no,
super quick sequences.
No, it doesn't.
But the scale is massive,
and the story doesn't feel like it's let's have a story to get to the action. The action is there to serve the story as well,
and it feels like the logical next step in the story. You know, it's the sort of thing that seems smart when you're a kid, like a teenager, getting all these powers, wanting to help people. But is it so smart? You know, when you're doing college and you're trying to be with the girl of your dreams and you're trying to carve out life for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes total sense that you'd be stressed and consider giving up Spider-Man. It's a fantastic tale.
No, it really is. I mean, a scene that I'd like to talk about. What are your feelings on the scene in the hospital with Dr. Octopus?
Oh, that scene is so awesome. It's literally dropped out of Evil Dead.
It's incredible.
That's
It's got a horror movie section in the film.
Exactly. There's so many different genres that get chopped up into this movie, and that is one of them. It's incredible when it does the POV shots of the tentacles coming for people, and they're trying to saw them off, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, the reference of the chainsaw to like Evil Dead. Like,
yeah.
Really
anyone
cool.
take shot class? They're fucking dead.
Dead. But the reveal is fucking incredible when he says that joke and then he looks at the chain as it's moving. It's terrifying. Like, and that's what I really like about it. Is like, okay, although it's quote unquote, you know, a kids movie, superhero films, it's like there's still moments of that you can add in that are terrifying. I think that sometimes people are a bit afraid to do that now.
The best children's movies are adequate for adults, aren't they?
Exactly.
Like adult themes.
Exactly, 100%. So, I mean, this film's a film for everyone, I think.
I agree.
And that scene, like we said, like the tentacles are terrifying. The way they're showing them into shadows, like it's like a German expressionism horror movie. Like it's like
Doc
an
Ock
Evil
is
Dead.
so intimidating.
No, he's terrifying.
And Alfred Molina is an incredible actor.
He's incredible.
I was rewatching it with Chris yesterday.
Yeah.
Full fair videos. To prepare for this, and I was actually saying I think Alfred Molina would make an amazing master in Doctor Who.
Yeah, he would.
Like, he's nasty and calculating, isn't he? And
he is brilliant.
He's got that look, especially with the shades on.
Yeah, he does.
That'd be a good fan cast as well.
Do you know what I really like? As well, you can really get a sense of his intelligence.
Yeah.
And his respect for Peter is brilliant.
Oh, so good at the end when he finally is like, "Listen to me now."
Yeah.
We were actually having a bit of a debate because I know the movie sort of puts forth the idea that because of the inhibitor chip getting fried, the arms have sort of artificial intelligence and they push him towards those things.
Yeah.
But me and Chris were sort of talking about, you know, I think it kind of comes across a bit more like it's the part of him that's come out of his psyche after the accident and the PTSD and you know he's kind of controlling them, but I don't think they have true AI, do they?
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
To him,
yeah.
It's very much like Norman Osborn, isn't it, with
the
split sort of personality.
Well, this is what I think they do, which I think is great that you pointed that out. I think they play to his ego.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And that's why, because they're like, you can do this. You had the power of the sun in your hands, and it's like you can finish this sort of thing.
And I love
like
that-
Peter wasn't right.
Yeah.
You calculated it just fine. Like it was playing to his ego, and I think that's what's
It was working, wasn't it?
yeah, exactly. It's brilliant, and that's another thing I like as well is that he's so driven in this movie.
Yeah.
And so is Peter. They're both very driven characters. I think that's why they get along.
Yeah.
But also he has that flaw that some people who are very driven can have of because they're so sure of themselves and they have to be so sure of themselves to achieve what they want to do. They sometimes don't listen to others when they're trying to.
They
tell them
understand
there's
you
a
need
problem.
to sacrifice things, but they take that a little bit too far.
Exactly, and that's when Peter says to him, "Like, you sure you got that calculator?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine. Like, I got it figured out. Like, you can't, like, you don't even, like, don't worry about that sort of thing." Whereas, like, he should have put a bit more thought into that, and I think that's where the flaw.
I mean, his
comes
wife
from.
dies
Exactly.
because of it.
And that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
The way she screams and the glass coming out. That is like a horror film.
And I'm doing a video on Spider-Man villains at the moment, and one of the
brilliant.
things I outline in the Raimi trilogy that they do so well is that you're always sort of sympathetic towards them and what happened to them, but it's also not entirely not their fault.
Yeah.
Like, they've still got a bit to blame for their actions.
Yep.
Like if he hadn't have said, "Oh, it will stabilise," and shut it off and done the right thing, his wife wouldn't have died, and he wouldn't have gone up shit creek.
Exactly, yeah. Knowing accepting the fact that you failed.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
And it's the exact same with Norman Osborn in the first movie.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't take it back to the formula. We've got to try it on ourselves.
Yeah.
And he pays the ultimate price. I do like how they really parallel each other.
Yeah, it's really good because Spider-Man fails and accepts his failure and then learns from it.
Yeah.
And the problem they don't do that.
They just do the exact same thing again, hoping it'll work.
Yeah.
And isn't it so strange how the supervillain in this movie is actually trying to create renewable energy for the world?
Yeah. That's
a
amazing.
noble
Such a good
purpose.
purpose.
Yeah, that is a
It's
noble
the
person.
whole, the villain always thinks that he's the hero.
Yeah.
So if he accomplishes this,
But this one's actually got a pretty decent case.
Yeah, 100%. And I always like that, and this is what is great about Spider-Man, and that's what they really show in this is Spider-Man's connection to the villains.
Yeah.
Like he always has some sort of connection that makes it even tougher. I mean, and he do it even in Homecoming. Makes it even harder for him to deal with this situation.
Do you think that's why Spider-Man 3 is the less loved? Because
Yes.
Sandman and is he called Eddie Brock in this?
There's not enough time devoted to the Harry Osborn relationship.
Which is the best stuff.
Yeah, which is the best stuff.
Yeah.
Sandman, it's weird retconning who killed Uncle Ben. You don't need it.
Yeah.
He should have just been a thug. Well, I do appreciate them trying to give a bit more dimension to him.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Brock, there's just not enough time. He comes in at the third act, just like, I want you to
Yeah.
kill Peter Parker.
No, it's weird.
What? I mean, he seemed a bit creepy. Like, when Gwen Stacy's like, we had a coffee, Eddie, and he thinks so much of it. But it still comes out of left field, doesn't it? He just wants to kill Peter Parker.
Yeah, that's true.
I read that someone felt, J. Jonah Jameson's son in the second movie, he should have been the one to go to space and get the Venom symbiote attached to him in Spider-Man 3, and then he would have had a personal connection.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like he
been
wants
much
MJ
better.
back.
That's perfect. Yeah,
that's quite cool.
That is really cool. I like that. That's a really good idea.
You didn't have time to introduce Eddie Brock as well. It should have been a legacy character.
Yeah, I agree. He should have been that throughout. Yeah, like you said. Yeah, definitely. That's the other thing as well. Like the J.J. Abrams and stuff. He balances so many different genres in this film. Like every time J.J. Abramson's on screen,
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Jameson.
Did you say J.J. Abrams?
No, did I say J.J. Abrams? Did I say J.J. Abrams?
I thought I heard J.J. Abrams.
Maybe I did.
Maybe I'm going mad.
Maybe I did. I don't know. But J. Jameson, yeah. All of his scenes feel like a screwball comedy. It's like they were directed by Howard Hawks, and like the dialogue is like something out of His Girl Friday. Like it's very, get this, like the old. It's
Sir, your wife lost her checkbook.
Yeah.
Thanks for the good news.
yeah, exactly. You're fired. Wait, you're hired. Like it's
I need that money. Miss Brandt, get me a violin.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Spider-Man. He's a menace.
I want Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Some food got poisoned? I'm a little nauseous. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's brilliant the way you put that in. It kind of parodies that sort of film, like the way Hudsucker Proxy does in the Coen Brothers film. Yeah, I love that. Like you can really, it's got a real appreciation for cinema. The whole film.
Best J. Jonah moment is in Spider-Man 1 when Green Goblin's got him by the lapels and he refuses to give up Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah,
so
he
you
does.
know, beyond all that bullshit,
Yeah, he
he's
does.
a great guy.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
It's brilliant.
I've sworn on this podcast, but I just love Spider-Man 2 so much.
Yeah, who gives a shit, man? That's
Okay.
what
So
I love movies. I love watching movies.
I love making them. I love it.
So this next one is a half star from Carnadian.
That is harsh.
Half a star.
Half a star out of
I
5.
think I've only gave one film half a star.
Which film? Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman.
That's generous. Anyway.
We can't wreck any more Snyder
We
fans.
we lost all the Snyder fans just then.
Did you know they apparently spent like a couple of thousand? I mean, it might not be a couple of thousands. We'll need to fact check.
Yeah.
On a blimp over Comic-Con, so that Warner Brothers would know they wanted to release the Snyder Cut. And apparently, DC weren't even at the con.
No way.
That's what Sean told me.
That would be amazing.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They really want that cut.
Release the Snyder Cut.
And just to put it out there, we're not haters of DC. We're not Marvel versus DC guys.
No,
That's
no,
not what
no,
else.
no.
Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman's
That's
dope.
great. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy that movie. I think it's good fun. Like it's a mess, but it's good fun.
I grew up on reading DC Comics just as much as Marvel Comics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if not more, I think I've read
Yeah,
more DC
yeah.
comics.
Where do I begin? This movie sucks. Yeah. If you've seen any other superhero movie and compare it to this one, the other will always be better.
Wait. Can we actually play this game? Charlie,
let's do it.
so I'm going to give you a superhero movie.
Go.
And you've got to tell me if you think Spider-Man 2 is worse.
Okay.
Okay. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Spider-Man 2 is better.
Fantastic Four Spider of Silver
Yeah.
Surfer.
Well, Spider-Man 2 is obviously better. Yeah. Give us-
Oh, okay. I just
give us
wasn't
some-
sure if you were going to say obviously worse. But you
Oh no, obviously better.
The Incredibles 2.
Yes, it's better. Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Better than Captain Marvel.
It's better than Captain Marvel.
I think so. Yeah.
Get out of town.
I think so.
I want to play this game too.
you go.
Captain America Civil War.
I think it's better than Civil War. Yeah.
Avengers Infinity War.
Oh.
And now the 1-2 punch, The Dark Knight.
Oh. They all do different parts of
Yeah.
the superhero thing. It's hard to sort of compare them, especially
They're
the
the
Dark
Holy
Knight.
Trinity, as we said.
Yeah. Especially the Dark Knight because it plays with a genre, and then puts superheroes in that genre.
It's Heat with
Yeah,
Christian Bale
exactly.
and throat cancer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is. It is. He's right.
It is.
It's a thriller with Batman. But yeah, this is a fairy tale with Spider-Man,
Oh, it's
and
a
Infinity
fairy tale.
War is like a space adventure
The
with
score really
everyone.
helps that.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a fairy tale? And like Mary Jane running in a dress at the end.
Yeah,
Up
like
in his doorway, like
in like a graduate-esque way.
I'll always be in your doorway.
Yeah.
It's so wholesome. It's
and it has that last shot as well. There's a bit graduate-y, isn't it?
Yeah.
sort of lingers
She's
on them a
looking-
bit. Yeah. What
'Cause
have I
she
done?
knows she's going to be in danger now.
Yeah.
It comes with the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not even like in danger because, of course, in Spider-Man 3, it's how they're kind of battling for the spotlight of their relationship.
Yeah, which I do like as well in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that's
There's
really
another
good.
thing people underrate.
But I feel like that's something that it's foreshadowing for that because it's like
Yeah.
as much as she wants this relationship, part of her knows it will never work.
For everything good in that movie, though, there's then Harry Osborn being like, break up with him, ah ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
and she breaks up with him, that's
Yeah.
so stupid.
I just feel like it balances so many plot threads as well in this film. Like the stuff with Mary Jane is brilliant. Like the tension between that, plus you got the tension with him and Doc and Ock. We've got the whole stuff with Aunt May.
It's
You got
so-
with Harry. There's so many threads that just work perfectly in the film. Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking when she puts J.J. Jameson's son, I can't remember his name, God's sake, on the back of the couch and she kisses him like she kissed Peter in the first movie.
Oh
To
yeah.
try and see if she can rekindle that feeling.
So good. That
Yeah.
bit is brilliant.
But of course, if you're going to do that, you've already not been able to rekindle the feeling.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
trying to kiss him like how you kiss Peter.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah. But she's still going to go through the marriage right
Yeah.
up to the end.
She's waiting for him to say, isn't she?
When she's hugging the guy and she looks over the bay at the end of the finale and Peter's just like looking because he knows he can't be with her. They just... Oh, actually, no. You know what's great about the CGI in that bit? He turns round to go and swing away and then he turns his head back one more time to look at her. and then
Oh,
he
it's
swings
so
away.
good. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
And he's got the mask on at that point, but you still know what he was feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But continuing, the villain's motive makes no sense whatsoever. Doc Ock is a brilliant scientist, and then he gets, like, possessed by robot arms? Tell me that's not dumb. He robs a bank to get materials for the dumb magnet thing, but if he has nothing to lose and has 4 robot arms, then why not just steal the supplies directly? And of course, there's the infamous part where Harry says to Doc Ock, "Don't hurt Peter." If you haven't seen the movie, then you would know that Harry wants to find Spider-Man and Peter might know where he is. Doc wants these supplies, which he can just steal from Harry. Then, when Peter is on a date with MJ, a car is hurled at them. Whatever.
What does that mean?
It's a movie thing. Obviously, it's going to hurl a car at them. He's
Yeah.
the villain. Like,
Well, In fairness,
You just go with
if
it.
Peter Parker wasn't Spider-Man,
Yeah, I know.
Peter Parker would have died.
It doesn't take a star off this movie for me.
No, that's the thing.
Everyone jacks off to the web slinging in this movie too. I don't know if you've ever seen anything else Spider-Man related, but the web slinging in this trilogy has to be the least Spider-Man thing ever.
Can I stop you right there? Shut the front door. The web slinging in this series is incredible. It's the best web slinging of any
amazing.
Spider-Man movie. And I haven't seen Far From Home yet, so the web slinging looks good in that. So it could be a contender, but as of right now, pre-Far From Home, best web slinging ever.
100%.
It's incredible. The fucking choir score as he's swinging
it's
around
amazing.
the buildings.
Because
the
it's not,
helicopters.
it's not just how Spider-Man's moving, it's how the camera's moving with him.
Absolutely.
And that's why it worked perfectly. Whereas I feel like...
Bright, colourful.
And I love the POV shots of the swing. That's what's really
Is that
good.
in this one?
So the camera... Is that in this one? Maybe it is in
POV's
this
an
one.
amazing Spider-Man.
There's definitely POVs
I thought
in
these ones are
some
just...
There's 100% POVs. There's a bit when he comes over the
In
cars. Yeah, I think it's in
Well,
2 or
it's in
1,
one.
but
Yeah,
maybe
no,
it's in
it's
1.
there,
But
because you've also got that shot where, right at the end, he does the jump and then swings around the corner and the camera follows him around that way as well.
POV?
yeah.
I don't know if it's POV, but it's tracking.
Because I remember not liking the POV in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like when he's running and he's like bobbing on, it's like Mirror's Edge.
Yeah. No, but it's the way
so
it cuts
weird.
with it. It's like it'll cut
Yeah.
into then the front shot of him swinging.
That, when
And
it's
that's what's
when
amazing.
it
where it's
pans
like
round.
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 does have some good web slinging though.
No, it does. Yeah, it does.
But it's just the script is terrible. And
Yeah, it's a shame.
I really don't like Amazing Spider-Man 1 either. Oh, actually, quick aside. You know, I said earlier I was reading the Fight for the Future Movies book.
Yeah.
Through the book, you find out that they were going to reboot Spider-Man a third time at Sony. This is before they made the Marvel deal. And the Sinister Six movie was going to be starring him, recast as a 16-year-old with a skateboard, and he was going to be going into the Savage Land where dinosaurs existed with the Sinister Six. So even though the Sinister Six were in the title, it was going to give me another Spider-Man reboot.
With dinosaurs.
Well, not just any dinosaurs,
Yeah, it'd be savage.
specifically a dinosaur that he was going to ride, a T-Rex.
Oh, okay.
You're joking.
They were bandying that about.
You're joking. It's weird how studios do this. Like, it reminds me of that Kevin Smith thing we were talking about, the giant spiders.
Yes, it does.
Like, what is their obsession with like giant like
And
creatures?
adding weird shit to the source material.
Yeah.
In fairness, as ludicrous as all it sounds, I've got a big old grin because I'm just imagining it like a Sunday movie.
It
Sunday
sounds like
cartoon
Spider-Man
movie.
directed by James Wan.
No, it does. It
Yeah.
does.
Now I'm kinda
I'll
down
move down.
for.
Now I'm down for. Yeah. Do you know what I think's weird as well about this is that the Spider-Man franchise in general, that we nearly got James Cameron with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's odd.
James
glad that
Cameron was
didn't
going to direct
happen.
it. That's odd though, isn't it?
That's
But the
very
thing is,
weird.
like, I understand where that's coming from. Like DiCaprio, young DiCaprio, I get what they're saying. Like that Romeo and Juliet.
And Pete Cameron in the 90s.
Pete Cameron, yeah, that'd have been.
If
crazy.
anyone could have done those swinging scenes
Yeah.
pre-Sam Raimi, it would have been James Cameron. Jimmy C.
And actually, this is a good point. I think this Superman movie may be the most director-driven of the Superman movies. Maybe next to The Dark Knight with Nolan, because I feel you really
Yeah.
get it's not only is it a Spider-Man movie, it's a Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah, it is.
Like Thor Ragnarok is a Taika Waititi film, but like it's
It's-
more
it's
of an
under that
it's still got
MCU umbrella.
exactly. Whereas like Spider-Man 2 is really Sam Raimi. Like it's got the horror element, it's got all of his
Yeah.
tropes as well.
It feels like it's within his filmography rather than being
100%,
within
yeah.
the cinematic universe, and that's the time they came in to direct.
Yeah, exactly.
But going back into this, because the reason it's the least Spider-Man web-swinging stuff is because he's not doing any flips, cool jokes, or anything. He's just
Cool
stiff
jokes.
and silent whenever he swings, and that is just not fun for the viewer. The combat in the trilogy is also god-awful. The shot will go like this. Person A winding up punch, the punch itself. Person B stumbling back, who then winds up another punch. It's an endless cycle of bad directing and just bad acting.
The train sequence is one of the best superhero fight scenes of all time.
All time.
It's got rhythm. It's it's shot incredibly. There's tension when he's stopping the train at the end. It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Because he's saving people.
Yeah, that's it. That's the tension of it.
That bit when he slides on the floor, then jumps, and then like hopscotches on the building.
Oh,
Guys
that's
on
amazing.
Stockholm with the music swells.
That's amazing.
You kidding me? Did this person watch the same movie?
That's
That's,
crazy.
that's a great action sequence.
So he said about he doesn't make any jokes when he swings. He does that in the first one. This movie doesn't require it because he's not fucking around by the time he's got to fight Doc Ock. He's lost too much. Do you know what I mean? He's the stakes are so high. He hasn't got time to crack jokes in this movie, and I think that's what's good about it, because you had that in the first one. He's cracking jokes and he's making little whips and stuff. I mean, I mean, I know people complain that he's just not doing it enough, and like Spider-Man does in comics, but yeah, I get that. But in this movie, I feel like the stakes are. I mean, he's already struggling as Peter Parker. His life as Peter Parker is not great, so he's not in a happy place to be making jokes. When he's Spider-Man, does that make sense?
I still think
feel
he
like...
makes a few little things. He fires them off like, here's your change.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you get all that. But I think they're talking about more when he's fighting Doc Ock. And
You
like...
could forget in the first one when he's like, let mummy and daddy talk for a little minute when he webs
Oh, yeah,
Jameson's
yeah.
mouth.
Oh yeah,
Classic.
Brilliant.
Also, Tobey Maguire is the worst actor I've ever seen. And I've seen The Room, a true American movie.
Not my tugboat.
No, I dare you. No, but no,
Shut your filthy mouth. Sorry, I'm joking, of course.
no, but no. I really want to go into that though, because rewatching this, I actually realised how great of an actor he is. Like,
Yeah.
even in the scene, the raindrops keep falling on your head, right? What an actor that takes to understand that level of comedy that he's playing. Like it's the way he walks down the street, and you can tell this guy is not sure of himself
I
at
fully
all.
believe he's a dork, whereas Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield,
That's
he's
the
like
thing, yeah.
Twilight level
Yeah.
cool.
He's a loser. He can't keep his job.
100%. Yeah.
He's a loser.
Yeah.
And that's what's brilliant about it. And I tell you what I do like about it as well. He may be one of the greatest superheroes of all time because he's a working class hero, for one, and he's always does whatever's right.
Yeah.
He does what's for the best. He's not doing it for show. And if that means sacrificing not having a lot of money as Peter Parker, he'll do that. He'll never steal.
His
He'll never
problems
do...
are always human struggles.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is what this film does so well.
Yeah.
The train scene is also stupid because just watch it.
Well, I mean, I already covered the train scene. I don't know, Charlie, if you want to add anything to that train sequence.
I mean, I think you've pretty much nailed it. I mean, there's so many things that Spider-Man has to worry about. Like, he's got to fight Doc Ock, whilst also the train is about to crash to its doom.
Yeah.
Plus, people are getting chucked out the window.
Yeah.
And Doc Ock's punched. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he's got to do
And he's
all
got
of
MJ.
And he's got MJ. And it's like, if that's not tension and a great scene, I don't know what is. I mean, you get a lot of sort of fights in superhero films where it's just the villain versus the superhero just punching each
In
other.
these reviews, it would always be fantastic if you could see them say a good superhero finale fight scene that they thought.
Yeah, I'd love
Do
to
you
see
know
them
what I mean?
compare.
Yeah.
So
What do you think is the worst superhero fight scene?
The worst superhero fight scene? The end fight in Fan 4 Stick, probably.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
bad.
I couldn't believe
That
it.
was very bad.
Yeah.
That movie just drops off the map, doesn't it? I mean, it was boring, and then it just goes.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to shit on films, but I mean, that's a film that, like,
Yeah, no,
welcomes
I
it.
think it warrants it.
yeah, it does.
There's not a lot of films that are that troubled.
Yeah,
In the edit,
no, definitely.
I also think the fight scenes in Electra are terrible. If you've seen that.
Yeah, no, yeah, they are. How about let's try and find one that's in a good superhero film.
I have one for that.
Go on.
Wonder Woman. I really like Wonder Woman,
Really?
and in fact, the fight.
Do you know what?
scenes,
I
like-
haven't seen it. I need to watch that.
I think the action in the first sort of half,
Yeah, I remember
the
that.
no-
I've seen yeah. I've seen a couple of scenes that are quite good.
like the No Man Land scene, that's fantastic.
I haven't seen that. No. I haven't seen
Oh,
that, yeah.
but then the finale is like straight up Batman v Superman. Which
Really?
is fine, like a CGI god. It's all black and
Oh,
orange.
that's a shame.
Yeah, it's not very good. I really hope the second one, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that actually.
Yeah, they've retconned Batman v Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm really excited for it.
Because she's operating in the 80s and people know who she is, whereas in Batman v
Oh,
Superman, she's
yeah.
trying to get a photograph, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm all down for.
I'm down for yeah.
Let's just forget about it. Make a good movie.
I give this movie the half star, and even that is generous. These movies are great to watch with your actor, writing, or moviegoers. These movies are downright horrible, but hilarious to watch. I'm not going to respond to the comments, and I don't care what this movie means to you. Your taste is shit. Later.
Actually say that.
Yeah, it says your taste
That's
is
just
shit.
rude.
That is rude, yeah.
You know, I can sometimes find certain taste in movies questionable, but if it's what you like, it's what you like. You know, even people that like Batman v Superman.
Yeah, no,
If
exactly.
you want to like it, if it makes you happy, you do you.
That's the thing. It's like we all, in the end of the day, go into a film wanting to enjoy it. So the fact that someone can get pleasure out of a film is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, but at the end of the day, it's subjective, isn't it? So whatever you take from the film is great. I don't think you should ever shit on people for like it's kind of there's no need. Do you know what I mean? Like
Unless they think Ant-Man and the Wasp is good. Those people, nuts.
there's people, a lot of people do. A lot of people do.
No, but those people too, I guess.
Yeah.
All right too.
I mean, I can understand more that them Batman Superman fan. But anyway, that's the
Yeah.
move from this. But yes, I don't think that's very fair for him to say. It's not. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't say that about you, did I? What's his name?
Canadian.
Oh, I'll forget that later.
Cool. Well, that is the reviews. So it's time for you to give your 5-star, your positive review for the film. Why should anyone actually watch it?
Spider-Man 2, whether you're a fan of the genre or not, is a fantastic ride. It's a well-written, tight character drama without an ounce of fat on the script. The story is thrilling, the action sequences are big and epic, but the character drama is small and intimate. If you wanted to find out whether or not you're going to love Spider-Man, you'll know by the end of this movie. And no superhero movie has topped what it's tried to do ever since. It's a classic, and I think I'll probably watch it several hundred times before I die. Unless I'm going to drop dead tomorrow. Who knows? Or wouldn't that be eerie?
But you've already
if
seen
this
it 700
podcast
times.
came- Yeah,
This is the last piece of media that you've
that'd be
done
weird.
since
But
dropping
what
dead.
way to go though?
But not really.
No, what way to
Being
go?
on this podcast,
Yeah,
I hope I get better than this, mate.
what?
What way to go?
Joe
Saying that
Rogan's next month.
saying that you love Spider-Man, you know?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I could say I love.
Say how much you
different
love
things,
something.
you know, like my dog Stanley,
Yeah,
my
he's
little
lovely,
man.
to be
He's
fair.
lovely, very cuddly.
Yeah.
Your turn. The good bits from Charlie, please.
Yeah, I mean, I consider this a superhero masterpiece. I really do. I think, like we've discussed already, I mean, it balances so many different genres. And you know, I love when that happens because I think there's no reason we can't almost. And I think the best films for me are the ones that can balance a few genres within them. And again, this is a film that has a lot of funny moments, but then when it's dramatic, and you can almost brings you to tears. There's moments that, like I said, but can be almost in a Ken Loach movie, the kind of dramatic stuff with Aunt May. And it's a really hopeful movie. And I think it's a great movie. It's a great movie and message for kids, in my opinion. It really makes you optimistic about the world and what you can do and stuff. Yeah, I honestly, I could go on forever. I think this movie's a masterpiece. What I'd like to just pose the question while I'm here is, what is your Spider-Man rankings of all the Spider-Man movies?
That's nice. It's also a nice little segue because I wanted to ask you guys what you thought you were going to think of Far From Home before you see it as well.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
So, my Spider-Man rankings
Go.
are Spider-Man 2,
Yep.
Spider-Man 1,
Mhm.
Into the Spider-Verse,
Yep.
Homecoming, Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I think I agree, actually. Let me think about it. So, Spider-Man 2, it's
Yeah, it could go
it's
either
hard
way.
with Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, if we
do you know
only
what?
playing
Just to make it
live
different,
action, it would have been-
to make it different, I'm going to go with Spider-Verse. Just
Okay.
because I think there's stuff in Spider-Man 1 that is dated a little bit still.
Okay.
The costume's a bit weird and stuff. But that's me.
The
really
Green
picking-
Ranger.
I mean, still love Spider-Man 1, but I think
Formula.
but I think Spider-Verse, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely between, that's a tough one between them two.
Mhm.
And then I would go Homecoming,
Right.
Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, I think.
The Amazing One.
Amazing
Amazing,
Spider-Man,
sorry.
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty solid ranking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say mine would be the same order that you've just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Spider Verse would be just slightly better than the first. But
Yeah.
then I love the first because
Yeah.
the Green Power Ranger is just so great.
Oh.
It's so great.
Out am I? And even that's got a great horror moment when he's fighting the Green Goblin. It's
Oh, at the end
terrifying.
when he beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But again, that has a lot of the same sort of themes that this one does. I think he just perfects it in this one.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think that would be mine. Yeah,
And we're seeing Far From Home tomorrow, aren't we?
we are seeing Far From Home tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm really excited. I was not expecting the wave of reviews to come out and be as strong as they were. A lot of people are saying it's the best Spider-Man movie.
They're saying it's better than this one.
Better than Spider-Man 2.
In fairness, I had a quick look and they were saying that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the best film ever when that came out.
All of those reviews? No, there have been some
Like,
trustworthy
those were
reviews.
like the big headline reviews for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was that it was the best
I
Spider-Man
don't
film
remember people
at
saying
that
that.
time.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
At the time.
I thought it was pretty lukewarm.
But
Then it
that,
degraded
that
over time.
happens every time a big film comes out, though. Is that you're going to get those reviews?
I
that get
do
slapped on
think
the
you can
posters.
usually pick out though, like
Yeah.
the early reviews, whether they think it's really like actually crap. Like Thor: Dark World, they never said it's crap. They said, "Oh, it's a solid outing for Thor, and it's okay." That means it's bad. Whereas them going out of their way to say it's better than Spider-Man 2, I'm like, wow. I mean, you know what? It would be incredible if it got dethroned. It would be absolutely awesome.
I mean, that's what we want. Do you know what I mean? We always want better movies.
Mr. Jake Gyllenhaal, one of the finest American actors of all time, playing
he's
Mysterio.
brilliant.
And I like that it's globetrotting, going around Europe. The MJ stuff looks cool. I love Ned Leeds. He's great. And Nick Fury's in it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm really hopeful that it'll be good. Yeah, I really want it to be good.
I saw one review say it takes the most storytelling risks since Iron Man 3, and that really excites me.
That really excites me. Apparently it's really weird. And also, I think the fact that we got Spider-Verse, which is one of the best Spider-Man films we've had in ages, I think there is no way they couldn't have learnt from that.
Yeah.
Or, thought about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I remember feeling bad for Far From Home when Spider-Verse came out, because I was like, it's less than 6 months, or roughly 6 months until that comes out. It's going to make it look really bad, but apparently it's done it again.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll tell you what I would like to do as well. If you could pair this film as a double bill with another superhero film, what superhero film would it be? So if you did Spider-Man 2, then you watch another film after.
It's interesting. Maybe Into the Spider-Verse, because I think
Okay, let's go not another Spider-Man film then.
Okay,
But yeah, obviously that's a great.
because you can imagine
choice.
the.
I'd actually like to do that.
the Spider-Man in that being.
I'd actually really like to do that. We should do that.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Another superhero movie. X-Men 2.
Oh, interesting. Go, yeah.
The Hallmark 2000 superhero movies, or Batman Begins. I think maybe
Yeah.
X-Men. Let's keep it Marvel for this pairing.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Batman and Spider-Man. That'd be good. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Or The Dark Knight. So
But I feel like
2
that's
and
a
2.
slightly different era of comic book movies.
Well, yeah, but
I feel like
it'd be
2008
an
marks a
interesting
difference.
The villains, I feel, would be a good contrast, because you've
True.
got Doc Ock, who's you can understand every reason why he's doing these things, and then you have the Joker, who's just the wild card.
That's true.
You know what I'd actually legit pair up with? I actually think it'd make quite a fun double bill with Aquaman.
Oh yeah.
And I tell you
it's
what,
got the same sort of goofy charm.
It does,
doesn't it?
and like that bit with the roses, the bit when they're in, is it Italy? Are they in? Where are they?
Oh, when there's the song bit.
And she's eating the rose, and they have that
Yeah.
romantic moment. That's like the raindrops keep falling on your head scene,
Yeah, it
and
is.
also it has that genre flip of like that scene with the
horror, the trench.
the horror trench people.
Yeah.
That's like the horror
Yeah,
scenes
yeah,
in
yeah.
the Sam Raimi thing. It does. I remember when we first see Aquaman, we said that's what it reminded us a bit of Raimi. Like I feel like James Wan's really trying with some of the stuff.
Such a fun movie.
It's really fun. I think like, the thing is, the movie is like, I'm aware it's the best, but like I think I'm so in awe of what James Wan tried to do, and like how creative he's trying to be.
I'm fully down for Aquaman 2.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's going to be a right blast.
And I think Aquaman also has the same sort of hopeful optimism that Spider-Man has as well. So I think that'd be quite a fun little.
Jason
I don't know. it might
Momoa
work.
is just the man as well.
No, he is. Yeah.
A wholesome man.
Who doesn't love Jason Momoa?
I know, everyone
Who
does.
doesn't? Yeah, literally.
Exactly. But to wind us down so that we can go out and enjoy the sun,
And there's a barbecue outside.
and there's barbecue outside.
Do you not have a film you would like to pair up, Luke?
I said Dark Knight.
Oh, The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Oh, you did
The
say
Dark
sorry.
Knight,
He
yeah.
said,
You just don't listen to me.
Sorry,
It's fine.
sorry.
I see what you
wasn't
think of me here.
I
Matt?
value you, Luke.
Thank you.
No, you
You're
know
the
I love
only
you
one
really,
here that
Luke.
does. Thank you for being here. Of course, we'll link Full Fat down below.
Oh, thank you.
You said that you were working on something recently. Do you want to?
Well, we've got a Simpsons video coming out next week. So our first
Oh,
Simpsons
excited for
video.
that.
Yes,
I'm
that
very
should come
excited.
out around the time this does.
Oh yeah, actually,
Potentially,
yeah.
'cause
And yeah, that's sort of tracking Homer and Lisa's relationship. We're going to do a few of them. So we've got Homer and Lisa coming out first. Then we're going to do one on Homer and Marge, Homer and his parents. Just because the character relationships in the Simpsons.
I'd love
are-
to. I'd love to see Homer and Bart one
I think that's what we want to eventually
because
just round off.
there's
to.
something about that relationship. I think is one of the best things.
Yeah.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah. And rewatching them with Chris has been an absolute delight.
Yeah.
That show is one of the best shows of all
No,
time.
it is.
In its golden age. And then we're also doing one on Spider-Man. And we keep getting asked when we're going to be doing Endgame essays. And I think it will probably be around or after July 30th because that's when the movie comes out on digital. So we should be able to get high quality footage for it. So that's going to be very exciting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, you have all the socials. So
Yeah,
people can
follow
go
us on
there if they-
Twitter, tell us we're dickheads via private message on Instagram, and like the Facebook page.
Exactly.
yeah.
And Charlie, where could they find us if they so desired?
They can find us on Twitter at Fave Films Awful. They can find us on Facebook, Your Favourite Films Awful, and Instagram, Your Favourite Films Awful. And that we're now on all podcasting platforms. We are now on Acast as well.
Yes, we forgot about that one for a
Yeah,
little bit.
we forgot about that one. I think there's maybe one more we need to try and figure out.
Oh,
but yeah.
there's always going to be
There's
at
always
least one.
something.
Something.
But yeah.
But yeah, we're there.
They're making gains, audience.
We're trying. Also, just a shout out to Pod Bible for putting us in their amateur podcasts.
Yeah.
great.
We were over the
List.
moon when we saw it. Like,
Yeah, in the magazine.
I just want
biggest
to
smiles.
say that if I had the choice between going on Joe Rogan Experience and going on this podcast, I'd obviously pick Joe Rogan.
yeah.
Get us way
Fair,
more
yeah, I
listeners.
mean, that would be
That's fair.
amazing. Yeah.
I'd say it's arguably a better podcast.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
Better made,
100%.
better host, better production
I mean,
value.
100%.
Do you want to go on? You started
No,
cutting me
no,
off.
those
no, you're
cuts are
right,
pretty
you're
deep.
right.
I'm good, actually.
You're 100%
Although
right.
Luke is more handsome than Joe Rogan.
Listener, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye. See bye.
Stay milky.
Stay milky.